Meet Emily. As a child, she took piano lessons. As a young adult, she lived with musicians and learned to play small hand instruments. Later in life, she took saxophone lessons. Emily has always been surrounded by music. Or you could say that Emily has always been circling around music. People love to make music together. It's a profoundly rewarding social interaction. However, we live in a culture that promotes music consumption rather than music making. Without a social environment that invites us in to music making, we have to find a way in. Emily has always wanted to play music with other people. Her difficulty was not in learning how to play. Her difficulty was in finding a way in to music making that wasn't terrifying. But there is no such thing. The main impediment to making music is fear, not a lack of skill. Making music is not difficult, but it is terrifying. The greatest fear is of making a mistake. It feels that if you make a mistake, everyone will laugh, everyone will drop dead, and you will be banished from the group. None of these is true. One day, Emily bought a used accordion. She was so excited. But of course, she didn't know how to play. The accordion stayed in its case for months. One's first thought is often, I need a music teacher. This path works for some, but the usual approach of learning to read music and playing exercises and scales can be frustrating if you want music making rather than music training. Emily came up with a plan. She picked a CD of her favorite music, went into a room, shut the door, closed the windows and the curtains, and made absolutely sure no one could hear her. She closed her eyes, and then she tried to play along. She sounded terrible. The first step is to listen a lot to the music you intend to play. Don't listen like a consumer. Listen with the intention of actually learning and playing the music. This is a different kind of listening. Picture yourself playing your music. Start playing along with the music you are listening to, even if it's just one note here or there. Close your eyes and dream. Undeterred, Emily tried and tried. Her ears and fingers started working together. She began to noodle, making up songs, and picturing herself playing with other musicians. The traditional approach to music making is to find people who are making music together and join in. Jam sessions are a great way to do this. They can be both public and private sessions. You do not need to be a competent musician to join a jam session. They are perfect for beginners. Musicians will offer tips and advice and are often available for a few private lessons. It's amazing how quickly your ears and fingers, surrounded by people making music, will begin to work together and join in. You don't need to impress. You just need to be exactly where you are. Eventually, Emily found a good weekly jam session. The first time she went, she hid the accordion in the car. Over the weeks, she would sneak some notes in. Both the musicians and the audience were very generous, and it wasn't long before Emily could be generous with other newcomers. Let me tell you what is true about musicians and audiences at jam sessions. Musicians want to be with and help other musicians, and the audience wants to love you. Mistakes, if noticed at all, are forgiven. They're just not that big a deal. It can be difficult for an adult to accept being a beginner. It's humiliating to be a beginner, and acquiring skill feels like it takes forever. You will learn, and quickly, if you surround yourself with people who are already making the music you yearn to make. Don't wait. Start now. Emily can now say she is a musician. Is she the greatest musician? No. Is she brilliantly skilled? Not at all. Is there more for her to learn? Always. What Emily has become good at is making music with other people. She loves any opportunity to play with others, whether it's a jam session or a paying gig. She has the courage to jump in and the humility to know that she is always a beginner. Emily now bids you farewell. This is a rendition of Sail Away Ladies, a traditional fiddle tune. I am playing banjo, and Emily, of course, is playing the accordion. We wish you well in your musical endeavors.